10 minutes. Don't worry whether if they don't relate to you or not. Just know that we're clearing it on a multidimensional level. I release the fear of abandonment and trust that I'm always supported and loved. I release the pain of betrayal and open my heart to trust and forgiveness. Breathe. I release the fear of rejection and embrace my worthiness. I release the wounds of abuse and reclaim my power and self-worth. I release the feelings of neglect and nurture my inner child with love and care. I release the grief and pain of loss, knowing that love transcends physical presence. Breathe. I release the emotional residue of divorce or breakup and open to new love and healing. I release the scars of childhood trauma and create a safe and loving inner environment. I release the wounds of bullying and stand tall in my self-confidence and self-worth. I release the fear and stress of financial loss and trust in my ability to create abundance. I release the anxiety and fear related to health crisis and focus on healing and well-being. I release the impact of emotional abuse and choose self-love and healthy relationships. Now, I want you to know I'm not just reading this. If you say yes, if you allow it, we are transmuting this. End of story. On a multi-dimensional level, your ancestors are literally jumping up for joy. Take a deep breath in. I release the impact of emotional abuse and choose self-love and healthy relationships. I release the fear of failure and see it as a stepping stone to success and growth. I release the burden of guilt and forgive myself for perceived wrongdoings. I release the weight of shame and embrace self-compassion and self-acceptance. I'm just going to do this differently. You're receiving downloads. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's all shifting. All right, good. I got it. I got it. I release the anxiety and fear related to health crisis and focus on healing and well-being. I release the impact of emotional abuse and choose self-love and healthy relationships. I release low self-esteem and step into my innate worthiness and confidence. I release loneliness and attract loving connections into my life. I release jealousy and celebrate the success and happiness of others. I release the pain of parental abandonment and find parental love and support within myself. I release the trauma of war or conflict and work towards global peace and healing. Breathe. I release the wounds of discrimination and advocate for equality and inclusion. I release the confusion of identity crisis and embrace my authentic self. Breathe. I release the hurt of betrayal by a friend and trust in the goodness of human connections. I release the effects of parental neglect and fill myself with self-love and care. I release the trauma of witnessing violence and choose peace and non-violence. So much is shifting, guys. I release the grip of PTSD and find safety and healing within myself. I release the wounds of emotional neglect and nurture my emotional well-being. I release the impact of verbal abuse and choose words of kindness and love. I release the fear of natural disasters and find strength and resilience in adversity. I release the trauma of abduction or kidnapping and reclaim my sense of security. I release the wounds of war veteran trauma and support veterans in their healing. I release the pain of cyberbullying and use technology for positive connections. I release the impact of emotional neglect by a partner and choose loving relationships. I release the grief of losing a pet and cherish the beautiful memories. I release the shame of public humiliation and stand in my dignity and self-worth. I release the trauma of cult involvement and regain my autonomy and freedom. I release the trauma of sexual harassment and advocate for a safe and respectful world. I release the wounds of religious trauma and find my spiritual path. I release the pain of fertility issues and trust in the journey of creation. I release the impact of parental addiction and choose a healthy and sober life. I release the fear and pain of childhood illness and focus on health and vitality. I release the wounds of workplace discrimination and bullying and promote diversity and inclusion. I release the pain of family estrangement and seek healing and reconciliation. I release the fear and trauma of stalking and protect my safety and boundaries. I release the trauma of accidents or injuries and restore my physical well-being. I release the pain of school bullying and promote anti-bullying efforts. I release the hurt of sibling abandonment and find sibling-like connections elsewhere. I release emotional turmoil and cultivate inner peace and serenity. I release the fear of intimacy and open to deep and loving connections. I release the grief of losing a mentor and honor their legacy in my journey. I release the fear and uncertainty after terminal illness diagnosis and embrace the present moment. I release the trauma of religious persecution and advocate for religious freedom. I release neglecting self-care and prioritize my physical and mental health. I release unresolved anger and find healthy ways to express and release it. I release the fear of abandonment by a partner and trust in the strength of my relationships. Take a deep breath in and out. I release the trauma of witnessing a tragedy and focus on healing and compassion. I release negative body image issues and love and accept my body as it is. I release emotional dependence and find inner strength and self-reliance. Now, guys, even if you don't believe this, like, for example, you have this ego kind of resistance to accepting your body as is, I'm telling you right now in this session, I'm not here for your resistance. You're saying yes, basically. You're saying yes. You're saying what's good for you. I'm like that mother that is going to literally unconditionally loving, chase you with a spoon of medicine until you bloody take it. Okay? I release emotional dependence and find inner strength and self-reliance. I release imposter syndrome and acknowledge my worth and expertise. I release the fear of failure and see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. I release the fear of success and embrace the limitless potential within me. I release the fear of rejection in relationships and open to vulnerability and connection. I release the fear of change and embrace the transformative power of life transitions. I release the fear of being alone and find comfort and strength within myself. I release the fear of speaking in public and communicate with confidence and clarity, knowing how to. I release the fear of intimacy and open to deep and loving connections, knowing how to. I release the fear of abandonment by friends and attract loyal and supportive relationships. I release the fear of betrayal in friendships and cultivate trust and loyalty. I release the fear of being vulnerable and embrace authenticity in all my interactions. I release the fear of confrontation and address conflicts with grace and assertiveness. I release the fear of success in my career and step into my full potential. I release the fear of failure in career and trust in my abilities. I release the fear of commitment and embrace the depth of stability of lasting relationships. I release the fear of letting go and trust in the flow of life. I release the fear of abandonment by a spiritual teacher and find inner guidance. I release the fear of rejection in artistic expression and create fearlessly, knowing how to. I release the fear of speaking up and using my voice for positive change. I release the fear of aging and embrace the wisdom and beauty of every stage of life. I release the fear of abandonment by a therapist and trust my inner healing abilities. I release the fear of being misunderstood and communicate my truth with clarity. I release the fear of rejection in creative work and share my gifts authentically. I release the fear of abandonment by a mentor and carry their wisdom in my heart. I release the fear of being judged and embrace and I release the fear of being judged and embrace self-acceptance and self-love at the highest level. I release the fear of authority figures and relate to them with confidence and respect. I release the fear of the unknown and step into an adventure of a life. I release the fear of losing independence and adapt to life's changes with grace. I release the fear of confronting personal truth and embracing self-awareness. I release the fear of change in relationships and trust in their natural evolution. I release the fear of disapproval and honor my authentic paths and choices. I release the fear of letting others down and prioritize my own well-being. I release the fear of missing out and appreciate the richness of each moment. I release the fear of abandonment and carry the wisdom of my truth in my heart. I release the fear of having children, being taken advantage of, and being overwhelmed and manage stress with ease. I release the fear of losing control and I surrender to the flow of life. I release the fear of speaking out against injustice and become an advocate for change. I release the fear of vulnerability in relationships and cultivate deeper connections. I release the fear of disconnection and nurture loving relationships. I release the fear of change in my career and embrace new opportunities. I release the fear of being unlovable and recognize my inherent worthiness of love. I release the fear of being powerless and step into my own strength and empowerment. I release the fear of being judged for past mistakes and focus on my growth and lessons learned. I release the fear of abandonment by a romantic partner and trust in the strength of our love. I release the fear of rejection by a parent and recognize my inherent value and self-worth. Breathe. I release the fear of being alone in old age and build a strong support system. I release the fear and grief of losing a sibling and cherish the bond we share. I release the fear of being controlled and assert my autonomy and boundaries. I release the fear of confrontation in relationships and know how to communicate openly and lovingly. I release the fear of isolation and cultivate a strong sense of community belonging. I release the fear of being vulnerable in my career and share my unique talents knowing how to. I release the trauma of public speaking and speak confidently and authentically. I release the fear of success in relationships and embrace loving, harmonious connections. I release the fear of losing my cultural identity and celebrate the richness of my heritage. I release the fear of change in my health and trust in my body's innate healing abilities. I release the fear of being forgotten and leave a positive legacy of love and compassion. I release the fear of letting go of regret and embrace self-forgiveness and self-compassion. I release the fear of being unseen and shine my authentic light into the world. I release the fear of being abandoned. I release the fear of losing emotional control and find balance and emotional intelligence. I release the fear of disconnection from spirituality and cultivate deep connection within. I release the fear of rejection in creative pursuits and express myself authentically. I release the fear of criticism and use constructive feedback for growth. I release the fear of losing a beloved place and carry its essence within me. I release the fear of losing a connection with my ancestry and honor their legacy. I release the fear of being silenced and use my voice for positive change. I release the fear of losing a sense of adventure and embrace new experiences. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. All right, my loves, I'm going to download that for you. I'm going to be here for 2 minutes breathing in with you as all the downloads are witnessed by the God essence. Listen to this at any given point in time. Remember your goal, feel the frequency shift, and know that you are now your divine universal self with a deep embodiment in your roots, in your core, in your backbone. And just continue to speak your truth. Continue to speak your truth. Your people will find you as you speak your truth. Speak your truth, be your truth, embody your truth, live your truth without the fear. Clearing all traumas in your womb, in your sacral, in your sexuality, allowing you to fully embody your abundance and prosperity so that you can be the goddess that you are. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Just know that your beauty is going to change after this session. Your beauty will change. You will notice that it's a frequency. It's a frequency. If you have any questions, contact me privately. You've got the activity feed, you've got the private chat. So just to kind of, because I've got more members here now, just to reiterate, some of you guys are purely membership. Some of you guys are in mentorship with the membership included in that package. Now, if you're only membership, because of the nature of the membership being a membership, I'm not doing one-to-one coaching with you, but I am answering your questions that you have, but I'm not coaching you in a private container. You won't have proximity to me unless you're in a mentorship package. Now, the package is 6 to 12 sessions. Some of you guys are in a 4-session package, but I've gifted you this membership for free. But that offer isn't for everyone. That offer is for people that I know that are going to continue with me after the package because you are a coded client. So if you're in a 4-session package, you're not obligated to continue working with me, but I'm selecting a few people that I know that will want to continue with me and we want to buy another package, and therefore that's the reason why I included you into this membership. This membership will clock off and you will be you will have access to it until your mentorship is complete with me. Okay, I love you. I love you. I love you. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Feel the frequency shift. Get in touch, ask me any questions, and allow yourself to transform and allow yourself to be your divine self. Magic miracles are here. If only you knew what I'm experiencing right now. OMG, it gets good. It gets good, baby. Okay. I love you.